I was going to the masjid every Jummah because I didn't know you go 5 times a day. I just know at least you go on Jummah. Calling myself a Muslim, and I didn't even take Shahada. I did that for almost 1 year. AI can't fill the room. AI can't look at a student's eyes and know that he's not understanding. AI can't just mubasha, immediately think of an example to give to a student who's struggling with the concept that you're trying to teach. You have to be willing to do what other people won't do.
Our guest today is Mr. Shadid Shaair. We talked about his conversion to Islam story and his career story as an English teacher. Subscribe to the channel and enjoy the episode.
Black butterfly, before you were old enough to fly, you flew so high that you almost touched the sun. Oh, beautiful one, I saw your wings dancing through the moonlight as your thorax took flight, higher and higher, far beyond the dunya, above this cold world that you were born into. Yes, you, in that hell on earth deep down below. Even so, I watched you soar up into outer space with stars shining on your face, brighter than they've ever shone, letting it be known that indeed a butterfly you are. So when your wings kiss that brightest star right before you die from having flown so high, inshallah, you'll be free, the way you were meant to be. Before you were born and your cocoon got torn, old nature's scorned butterfly emerged to be black. Never turn back and fly far away. So,
صح لسانك.
you want me to? Allah. Now, you want to explain it to you?
Tell me the story behind this.
I mean, it's not a story per se, but it was just kind of a السيرة النفسي والجماعتي يعني أمريكي سود والبرضو أمريكي سود والمسلمين, Black Americans, African American Muslims. And the butterfly is representing me and my people. You know, a butterfly is delicate, but at the same time is strong, is beautiful. And I chose Black, of course, because I'm Black. And, you know, that's what it basically is.
I want to listen the story about embracing Islam.
Okay.
I think
هذه قصة طويلة يا طيب.
yes. Take your time.
You know, Sheikh Ahmed, I didn't take a straight way to Islam. You know, like a lot of people, you know, especially African Americans, you know, Black Americans. And by the way, for a lot of the people who will be listening to the podcast who are not from America, who might be Saudi or Muwatanin, when you say Black American, African American, they don't understand it. أنت أمريكي أو أفريقي وش اللي يعني شو الفرق يعني سودة. It's just like when you say in Saudi فلاتة. تعرف يعني أجداده من أفريقيا. واضح. You don't have to say Black Saudi. If you say فلاتة, if you say برناوي, Hausawi, هكذا. مولد. You know يعني تقريبا this person is Black. المهم, for us, you know, as African Americans, we know, most of us know about Islam. We have some idea about Islam. Some people say that's because many of the Africans who were brought to America as slaves, unfortunately, they say that a huge percentage of them were Muslim. Allahu Alam, you know. For sure they were Muslims, but come for me, I don't know. Al-Muhim, for me, I've always known about Islam. Not all of it, but just some idea. So before I became Muslim, of course, I grew up in the church. I grew up in the church my whole life. My family was deep in the church. My brother, who died of COVID about 4 years ago, he was a preacher. كان بابا للكنيسة وأيضا شرطة في أمريكا في مدينتي. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So anyway, I've always known about Islam, but I grew up Christian, like most African Americans. And just over time, Sheikh, I just started thinking, you know, there was a point, believe it or not, Ahmed, where I used to call myself God. You might have to cancel the show. Yes. Again, why? Because it was my way of fighting against the unsuriya and the racism of America. So here I am in a country who says that my Blackness is ugly, that I'm nothing, that I'm nobody because I'm Black. So I tried to flip it. okay, not only am I beautiful and I'm black, I'm a god. Astaghfirullah, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knew. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knew I was miskeen. He knew I was trying. So He didn't leave me like that. Well, alhamdulillah. And slowly but surely I got guided to Islam. It wasn't a straight way. Nobody gave me da'wah. I didn't read some books. I didn't have a dream. ما كان عندي حلم, and I woke up and I said, oh, I want to take Shahada. It wasn't like that, Sheikh. It was just something gradual. It just happened. A lot of it. I wish I could tell people a straight story. That's what they want to know. They want an exact story. I don't have it. I'll be lying if I did. If I told you I did.
Do you remember the day of converting?
Wallahi, at first, and this happened about 30 years ago. At first, I was, again, believing that all black people are gods or we're better than everybody else. I was using it as a tool to protect myself from racism, to pick myself up, to have izzah, to have pride in myself. And I was teaching my children this at the time. I had 3 daughters at the time. Now I have 12 children. My oldest is 34, my youngest is 10, mashallah. But the oldest at that time, I was teaching her that she's a god, that we're better than everybody else. I stopped going to church, but I let her go to church. She used to go to church with my mother. So when I أشبت, I said, خلاص, no, حتى البنتي لا تروح. بعدين أمي زعلانة. So then my mother got angry. She said, look, you don't want to go to church. Let me take your daughter to church. My daughter's name is Halima. She said, let me take Halima to church. I said, no, she's not going to church. She said, okay, well, what are you going to do? I gave you Christianity. What are you going to give her? What's your religion? Now I was thinking, Ahmed, that I don't need a religion. So what? I believe in God. Well, astaghfirullah, I was thinking that I'm God too, but I know that's crazy. But anyway. So I don't know, Sheikh. It's just, she said that to me. ما أقدر يعني خليها. I just said, let me think about it. So wallahi, I'm in Tampa, Florida. I'm from Philadelphia, but I ended up in Tampa, Florida, في الجنوب. And one day I opened up a phone book and I was looking and it said Islamic Church. Kanisa Islamiyah. Okay. It didn't say masjid. It didn't say mosque. It said Islamic Church. And it's called the Islamic Society of Tampa Bay Area, Istaba, in Tampa, Florida. I went there without any idea, without whatever. I just went there. And when I got there, nobody was there. It was yani bain salawat, maybe between Dhuhr and Asr. So yeah, it was nobody there. So I was about to just go home. Okay, yani حاولت, I tried. I went. There's nobody there, but whatever. I bumped into the Imam. His name is Imam Muhammad Sultan, Allah yarhamu. He passed away now. Rajul Falastini. And he wasn't very ijtima'i. He wasn't very friendly, He didn't say to me, أهلا وسهلا حياك الله تفضل يعني كيف أساعدك? It wasn't none of that. It was like, yes. I said, is this the mosque? Yes. Can I come in? Not right now. Come back later. That's what he told me. I said, okay, thank you. And I walked away. I'm good with that. So now there was another Islamic church, but I couldn't figure out where it was. It was on some strange street that I never heard of. Mia Wathalatin, 130th. And I never heard of Mia Wathalatin. The other one was on a main street, that is easy to find. But this other one, Mia Wathalatin, wena, madri. But I'm going home anyway. Forget about it. So on my way to the house, wallahi, I looked out of the side of my eye and I saw اللوحة للشارع 130. 130. I turned down the street. I'm driving and driving and driving. I still don't see the masjid. Finally, I get to the end and there's a masjid. It's called Masjid Izzuddin Al-Qassam. And it was founded by, again, Palestinians. And The Imam of that time was Imam, subhanallah, Sami, Imam Sami al-Aryan. Okay, he's still here, mashallah. I think he's in Turkey now. المهم حتى يعني when I went there the Imam ما كان موجود. في واحد عمال يعني ينظف المسجد. A brother who's cleaning the masjid. He was from Guyana. يعني أجداده من الهند. But he was from Guyana. Okay, Central America. Okay. I said, is there anybody I could talk to? He said, well, everybody's gone. Because again, it was between the prayers. So, you know, people are working or going to school or whatever. I said, okay, so what should I do? He says, come back on Friday, Yom al-Jum'ah. On Friday? Okay, that was like maybe 2-3 days away. And I probably wasn't going to come back. But he said, okay, whatever, come back on Friday. As I'm going back to my car, يعني شوية زعلان والحزين يعني تعبتني. Because it's like I'm wasting my time, Ahmed.
Twice.
Yeah. So I'm taking it as a hijra, as an ayah, that this is not for me. You know? I'm thinking that, okay, hawalt, I tried. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but okay, I looked at Islam, it's not for me. As I go to walk to my car, he goes, do you have a question? Yeah, I guess, you know. So I didn't have a specific question, but I remember him telling me that he had studied at Imam Saud in Riyadh. I don't know how far he went, but he studied fil Mamlaka, Imam Saud, Jamiatul Imam Saud, Islamic studies. And now he was in the masjid working and helping the masjid or whatever. I remember Abdul Sattar, a brother named Abdul Sattar. He said, well, look, just come back. He didn't tell me anything. He didn't like explain anything to me, but he smiled at me. He was friendly. And because he was friendly, he asked me to come back. So I came back. I came back on Friday. I don't know that there's a Salat al-Jum'ah. What is Salat al-Jum'ah? I don't know what that is. I come into the masjid. I see the people praying. And في واحد تاني أيضا فلسطيني. Okay. I just tapped him on the shoulder. I said, listen, what do I do? He said, do what I do. At the time, he was praying Tahiyat al-Masjid. Tahiyat al-Masjid. So I just stood next to him and did what he did. And Sheikh, I was going to the masjid every Jummah because I didn't know you go 5 times a day. I just know at least you go on Jummah. Calling myself a Muslim, and I didn't even take Shahada. I did that for almost 1 year. Calling the adhan. أتعلم يعني شوية. And I remember asking another Imam, his name was Taysir al-Kurdi, Palestinian. I said, yeah, Sheikh Taysir, am I Muslim? Until now, or do I need to take Shahada again? He said, yeah, Sheikh Shadid, we all know you are Muslim. You took your Shahada like 1,000,000 times already. I just didn't know, Sheikh. I didn't know. I had another brother who told me about making a ghusl. I didn't know about making a ghusl. I'm up there making wudu and I hadn't made a ghusl. You know, you become Muslim, you have to take a ghusl. It reminds me of when I got into a little disagreement with Sahab Samir al-Maliki, Amir Mamduh ibn Abdul Aziz, rahimahullah. He passed away, Allah yarhamuh. I was in his house in Jeddah, Gaddam in al-Corniche, and he asked me the same story, and I was telling him the story, and I was telling him, Wallahi, Sheikh, I didn't know. And kuntu fi majlisu. I was in his majlis, in his house. And he goes, why you don't know? You should know. We have many information. It was, yeah, okay, I should have known. There was information. See, you know, for real. But I just didn't know. This is the way I came. I came by this crooked way, this weird way, you know. But eventually I started to learn, and alhamdulillah. And that's how things started to develop. By the way, I wanted to dedicate this program to Abu Turki Muhammad al-Sheri, Allah yarhamuh. You interviewed his son, Turki Muhammad al-Sheri, al-Muhandis. You interviewed him. I don't think you remember him. Turki Shehri. هذا أخي. That's my brother. Turki Muhammad al-Shehri, al-Muhandis.
He's the one I hosted?
Yeah. You interviewed him.
Okay.
Wallahi,
yeah.
that's my brother.
In English. I hosted
Yeah, in English. That's my brother.
Yeah. Oh,
his father, we met at Masjid al-Qassam. We met at Masjid al-Qassam, me and Turki. I was giving him a hard time. I was being very rude. I was rude because I was thinking he didn't have a big beard. He didn't look Islamic. He wasn't wearing a thobe because in my mind, you have to wear a thobe. Everybody. حتى الأمريكا. So I was being rough. And he thought it was funny. And he introduced me to his father, Allah yarhamu. After 1 week of being with his father said, I want to do a business in Jeddah. This is 1997. So his father was my first kafil. He brought me here in 1998.
MashaAllah.
And we just buried him, Allah yarhamu, like about 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you the other crazy thing. His qabr, Allah yarhamu, ashra daqa'iq bin bayti. Look at the qadr of Allah, how strange it is. His gravesite is 10 minutes away from my house. And this is the man who brought me here almost 30 years ago.
Allah
Allah yarhamu. He was like a father to me, for real. We stayed, even though I had many different jobs after that.
What did you learn from him in career-wise?
To be professional, to put your best face on. I never saw Abu Turki, Allah yarhamu, yani malabisu maqluba. I never saw him, not ready. I never saw him looking, unprofessional, And me being a new Muslim, and I've never been away from America, I'm coming here. I don't know anything about the language. I don't really know about the culture either. I was giving him a hard time too, respectfully, because he's like my father, Allah yarhamu. And he would always have to tell me, Ya Shadid, Ya akhi, lazim sowi kidha. Ya Shadid, yani qadam al-nas, fi sharakat, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm like, Sheikh, look, I know how to be professional, but I want to do it by my way. And he had to show me how to do it the way. The way.
What was your job that time?
At that time, I was managing a company he had called Al-Gharbiyah. And we were dealing with laptop accessories. And we had an internet cafe on Medina Road, because that was the beginning of the internet. So that was a good business. And I know you also had so I was managing all of that, It was just starting. And the business didn't do so well, over time. But, it was what got me started in Saudi Arabia. And then I transitioned from that into teaching. My first place was teaching at Madaris Tama Al Saud.
So before teaching, what about the university? Do you have a story in
As far as teaching?
a bachelor degree about bachelor degree?
Sheikh, for me, I never wanted to be a teacher. My father, who I get my laqab from, a shaair, he is the poet laureate for Hillsborough County in America, in the state of Florida. He's the first poet laureate. Yani shaair al-umda. He's the official poet laureate. That's his official title from the government. He was a professor, retired professor, teacher. I never wanted to do that. At best, I wanted to be a businessman, which that's what Abu Turki was. Yani Allah yarhamu. He was a businessman after he retired from the military. So that's why it was good for me to come here as a businessman, al-mamdub mabi'at, for the company, Al-Gharbiyah. So my school was basically just, general, general education, some business, some math. I wasn't specific about a takhasus, to be an instructor. It was just general. But when I came to Saudi, I kind of fell into the teaching thing. And then I started to realize that I'm good at it. I was just using it, akhi, as a sabab for my hijra. That's another thing that you might not understand. And I know that most of the guys or the people that are going to listen to this or watch this podcast, they're going to say, what do you mean hijra? When you say hijra, people think about ayam al-sahaba, radiyallahu anhum ajma'een, and they're saying, there's no more hijra, ya akhi. Well, call it what you want to call it. But I left America not coming for a job. I left America to live in a Muslim country. I left America to learn Arabic. I left the dream of a lot of people back home, Muslim Americans or people who convert to Islam or revert to Islam. They want to live in the Muslim country, especially Saudi. Saudi is the asima of the ummah, Mecca, Medina, Bilad al-Haramain. So that was my dream. That was my goal. I wasn't coming here to make money. I wasn't coming here looking for a job. I had a job.
So about teaching, you start teaching in English?
Yes. I was teaching first at Al-Madaris Thama Al Saud in Jeddah. I went from there to teaching at Al-Khalij, schools. It's called Direct English. I was the first mudir for the branch in Khamis Bashet in Abha. This was 2000, 2001. And min qadr Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I found myself at the place that I'm at right now for 16 years. Al-Mahad al-Ali li Sana'at al-Plastikiya, the Higher Institute for Plastic Fabrication. I've been there now as a senior instructor for 16 years. And it's the best place I've ever worked in my life. And let me just say this, Ahmed, it's the best
environment.
Yes, in Fil Mamlaka, as far as schools are concerned. And Allahu Alam. I will say Allah knows best. This is my opinion. And I
What
have
is special about it?
everything, bro. Let's just start with Al Idara. I want to give salams and shout out and respect to our executive director, Dr. Khalid Al Ghafaili, here in Riyadh. He's a beautiful man. He's a great man. He's generous. He's kind. I'm not saying that for wasta or to get some type of khair from him. This is what he is, bro. He is. And the Naib al-Mudir is Sheikh Radi al-Shambari. You know, he's the Naib al-Mudir, the deputy executive director or the deputy director. And together, mashallah, they have a beautiful team, HR, everything. The guys that I work with, the brothers, the teachers, you know, we have like yani akhwa, we have a brotherhood. We work together, we help each other, we support each other. And even al-muwaddafin al-thaniyeen, the other employees, the other staff at the Mahad, there is no jinsiyah there. I don't think about I'm Saudi or Ameriki. We're just one, bro. I feel like home in there when I'm there.
So you have been teaching English for 24.
I've been teaching English since 1999. Teaching in the classroom. You know, some people, when you say, how long you been teaching? 10, 15 years. What they mean, maybe they've been helping somebody tutoring or something part-time. No, I'm talking about I've been in the school, teaching in school, in the classroom, since 1999.
But what do you think about the industry of teaching the languages? Now the AI is replacing a lot of tools. Do you think the AI can replace the good English teacher?
And the short answer, no. And it's funny that you're asking me this question, Ahmed, because I actually one day I didn't have anything to do. I asked AI about this issue. And it came up with some videos for some people on YouTube who were, you know, answering this question. I found this one British English teacher who he gave both sides. He gave the pros and the cons. So for sure, there's some positive benefits from, or some benefits from AI only teaching. But at the same time, there's a benefit from having humans teach each other, having a live human instructor that AI cannot duplicate, because AI can't feel the room. AI can't look at a student's eyes and know that he's not understanding. AI can't just mubasha, immediately think of an example to give to a student who's struggling with the concept that you're trying to teach that's culturally appropriate to him. AI will be general. AI is not taking into consideration that he's teaching Saudis or that he's teaching people who, yes, they've been learning English since the...
What is the difference when you teach a Saudi guy or when you...
Okay, let's just say the difference between teaching students in China. The culture is different in how they approach education. I didn't say it's better, it's just different, okay? And the way they look at learning a language like English in China, for example, is much more serious, because the benefits or the harm of not knowing English very well in China, even though they have their own language, Chinese, is great, is significant. Here, it's also important, but yani, timshi, if your English is not that good, you can do something in Saudi as a Saudi. You know, there are some opportunities that, yes, on the surface, you should know English, but if you don't know English like that, yani. And also, some people don't understand the real benefit of learning any other language. It's not just to get a job. It's not just to make more money. It's to expand your understanding of the world. You know, I have a problem with non-Arabic speaking workers in Saudi Arabia who don't know Arabic. Why? Especially if you're Muslim. Okay, even if you're not Muslim, why would you come to another person's country and expect them to speak your language? But some jobs require you to speak English. A doctor, a pharmacist, an engineer. I mean, that's not about, لازم تتكلم إنجليزي عشان إنجليزي أحسن من عربي. لا. If you ask me, like I ask my students to ask me, my favorite language in the world is Arabic, of course. Come on. The most beautiful language in the world, to me, is Arabic language. That's not the point.
Where did you notice the beauty of Arabic?
Sheikh, I noticed that before I became Muslim. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I was looking for Islamic churches. It's just something about the way it sounds. Forget about when I started to learn about how deep the language is. There's some things that I can't even say it in English because it doesn't translate. I'm not talking about something big. I'm talking about simple things. If you say to somebody, that's Abe. What does Abe really mean?
Shame.
No, it's deeper than that. Because why? In the West, you could do something that's shameful, but yeah, you can live with it. When we say Abe bil Arabi, or fil Mamlaka, it's almost, astaghfirullah, like borderline with haram. Like you can't get over that. You might, astaghfirullah, you might even accept haram before you accept Abe. There's a shame, somebody can let it go back home. Shame back home means it's not that serious. They understand haram more than they understand shame. If you say it's haram, it's prohibited, it's prohibited, it's forbidden, they understand that. But when you say it's shameful, okay, to each his own. But when you do something here that's aib, it's not like that, bro. It's unacceptable. You know that. تعرف أحسن مني. Okay, and I'm not getting into the Islamic understanding of it. I'm talking about بالنسبة للعادة, التقليد, culture. And there's many things. There's many things that, mashallah, tabarakallah, we say in Arabic that it doesn't translate, Sheikh. Or the meanings could be million.
Do you have another example?
I can't right now, man. It might come to me. Because, Sheikh, what's funny? I'll be thinking by myself on the way to work, or in the car, I'm on, and certain words or certain ideas come to my mind بالعربي فقط. مو عشان أنا أتكلم عربي يعني 100%, but it's because it's just that particular issue or that concept.
Describe what you have in mind.
We say salah. Loosely translated is to pray. But that doesn't mean the same thing when you say that to somebody back home. What do you mean pray? So when you tell them, I gotta make wudu, where's the qibla, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You said you have to pray. You gotta do all that to pray. So salah and prayer is not the same.
Do you have an example of what differentiating the Arabic culture or Saudi culture in work that you cannot find it anywhere else?
Ahmed, let's be real. And I just told you that I work at the best school, the best company fil mamlaka. Allahu alam. Say Allahu alam. It's my opinion. I cannot use where I work as an example because when I talk to other people, non-Saudis, and where they work, other teachers at other places, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you really work like that? Your job is like that? I believe that my job is unique. I'm not saying it's the only one, but it's unique. But in general, if the environment is, professional, and by professional, I mean Islamic more so than a nidam yani gharbi. People think when you want to be professional, you put Islam to the side and you follow the so-called Western system. No. You could follow an Islamic system and still be extremely professional. What do I mean? Even for people that aren't Muslims. What do I mean? You could just be fair, yani adala, be nice, be helpful. I think something that when there's a perfect work environment in Saudi Arabia, the environment is very, very friendly and open and welcoming and warm. When it's a good environment, that's something unique to Saudi Arabia. You'll have co-workers, people that you work with, زملائك للعمل, who will buy you lunch, who will buy you breakfast, who will make you coffee, bring you coffee, do whatever they can do for you when it's the right environment. But when it's not that right environment, they can be the opposite and be in some ways worse than what we do in America.
What do you like the most about your job?
Helping the Shabab. Because when I'm not at work and I see the average Saudi young guy in the street, they don't always look so good, you know, the way they drive, the way some of them behave. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but I see things I don't like, a lot of things I don't like. So as a teacher at my school, which again is another thing I love about my school, I have the ability to try to fix some of those things I don't like. You know, to help them, to advise them, to guide
So
them, to be
not
like a
just
murshid.
English.
No, you have to be a murshid. You have to be a murshid. You have to be a guide. And the beautiful thing about my school is that my manager, my director, Yani Mudiri, he encourages that. As long as you still remain professional, as long as you still do what you have to do, you can't preach, you can't give them mu'idha kul yawm, and they don't know English. That's not going to work. So you have to have the mizan. You have to have the balance between guiding them and teaching them. Because even another example, Ahmed, how can you put clean water in a glass that's dirty or that's zahma? You know, respectfully. So I'm just saying you have to sometimes clean their minds about the things that they think about, not just English, about education. Some of them don't even think that education is important. I have some guys that are, mashallah, some of the best students I've ever seen. Mashallah. Clearly, they had, you know, a good tarbiyah fil bayt. They were good in the thanawiyah. They're great at the mahad. Mashallah, tabarakallah. When I can have a class of about 30 or 40 students, I wish I had 20 or 30 of guys like that. But what is it usually? I got 30 students, and from 30 students, I might have 5 like that. Maybe 10 who are serious. So what do? I try to use those guys to help me get the other 20 guys in.
What is your strategy for someone who want to begin learning English, or someone who is in the middle, or in his يعني practice the English long years? Do you have strategies?
في استراتيجيات أخي. You know, number one strategy is consistency. Be consistent. And by that, take every fursa that you could take to use the language, whether reading it. What do you mean reading it, Sheikh Shadid? Okay, if you want to read books, if you want to read your Twitter in English instead of reading your Twitter in Arabic, change the settings on your phone from Arabic to English. When you use the ATM, use it in English. I know that's important. It's your money. You don't want to make a mistake. But that'll be another reason why you'll be careful, won't you? You'll make sure, won't you? Consistency, immerse yourself. And how do you immerse yourself? Okay, you spend your time on Snapchat or watching YouTube videos or
Do you believe
whatever.
that the traveling is the
Huh?
traveling to an English country?
I'm saying before you do that, Ahmed, because I have seen people who went and spent time in America or spent time in the UK, and you know, as soon as they got there, they try to find out where's the best shawarma place. Where can I get the best Arabic food? Where can I get Sheikh? You can get kebsa all over the world. It may not be the kebsa in the yard, you know, but you could. They go looking for the Arabic things. Of course, they're going to go to the masjid, so they're going to see more people speaking Arabic. I have seen where you could go to America and not learn any English if you don't want to. It's just a rihla, ijaza. People do that. You know that. Come on. Some people, Sheikh, if you already know English and you go to study for a couple of months or a few years, okay, there's some benefit. But to go there with zero and all your friends are Saudis or Khalijiyin or whatever, Arabs, and yeah, okay, you go to the classes every day, but you're not really interacting with those people. You're not dealing with those people. And also it's dangerous too, because you don't want to you can't just go in the streets of America and make friends with anybody. You have to be careful who you're dealing with.
What does your class look like?
In what way?
If I enter your class, I want to كذا understand your structure of the class, how you manage the class, the opening and the ending of the class.
من بعيد, it's going to look jayshi. I believe a lot in discipline, especially for the type of students that I have. These are guys.
So if you enter the room, no one interrupted you?
Never,
Oh.
never, never. Sheikh, when we're in the lesson, I want them to not interrupt, interact.
What is the difference between interrupting and
Interrupting is you're talking to somebody else while I'm talking. Interrupting is you asking me to go to the bathroom when you just came back from a 30-minute break. Interrupting is you trying to use your cell phone, which is unacceptable, and I will never let you get away with it. Not at my place. We don't do that. And I have to stop what I'm doing and stop you until you put the phone away. That's interrupting me. Interacting is raising your hand, talking to me. I'm talking to you, talking back to me. In my class, I could be teaching a lesson, whatever the lesson is, and I could stop and ask you about something that doesn't directly have anything to do with the lesson, but it's my way of pulling you into the lesson. When you're having a normal conversation with somebody in the street, you can only talk about that? You can only focus on that? No. The main topic is whatever you're talking about. And within that, you put some other extra spices on it. That's how you keep people interested and engaged. So it's not just lesson A to B to Z. It's not like that. It's from A to Z and some other things in between. It takes more time. So maybe it might take me 2 classes instead of 1 class to finish it. Other teachers, they might take it just, look, here's the lesson, here's the schedule, here's the syllabus, have to be finished by this time. And they just keep it like that. Now, what's important for me in my class, what it looks like in my class, is that whatever exams we have, whatever quizzes we have, Adam Masood Alik, Mr. Shadid taught that. Trust me, we did that. Whatever you're going to be assessed on, we did that. Inshallah. That's lazim. That has to be done.
When I say teacher, is there any specific characteristics about the good teacher? Any teacher, English or something else?
Sincerity. Sheikh, listen, whether you are Saudi, Ameriki, Brittani, Hindi, Filipini, mashallah, my mahad also is a very beautiful place. It's an international place. I even work with Japanese. They're not instructors, they are mudara, they're managers. But I learn from them, I talk to them, I interact with them. But getting back to the question about teaching, I have some very beautiful, excellent Filipino teachers there. They're all Filipino engineers because we have an engineering department, and they're excellent. They're professional. They're very good at what they do. Sincerity, bro. You have to be sincere. It has to be, okay, yeah, you're not working for free. You're coming there to get paid, but you need to take your job more than just getting paid. This is number 1. Number 2, you need to have a professional mindset at all times. From the time you get to work, from the time you leave, things that have to be done a certain way. There's no kidda. You do it the way that it has to be done. Who tells you that way? Whoever the idara is or the management is. Sometimes you need to make a decision on your own, what's best for the student. And when you make that decision, as long as the idara doesn't have a problem with it, you have to make sure that, it's what's best for them, not what's easiest for you. There's a lot of things that I do that makes extra work for me. I don't have to do it. There's nobody telling me, Shadid, you have to do that. But when I see that the students need it, I do it on my own. I don't get any extra money for it. I don't get anything extra for it. But as long as I'm murtah.
I think a lot of students ask you a question about their career.
About their career?
Their career, I
Okay.
think, yes. Actually, I learned a lot of lessons from my teachers when I in the school or in the university.
Right.
About the passion, about how to choose the career, about how can I get the first good job, about career shifting, about my dream job, about the future. But if you speak to someone he's 18, he just graduated from the high school, what is your career advice as a teacher who have been working with the student for years?
شد حيلك.
شد حيلك.
طيب وش المعنى شد حيلك؟ معنتي. What's my understanding of شد حيلك? First of all, see things through the end. Sheikh, it is perfectly fine to one day believe that the choice you made, the career path that you took, is not the best one for you in the future. And at some point, you might have to transition into something else. But before you come to that understanding, before you make that transition, you would have had to have given 1,000% to the thing that you started. Start what you finish. Stop looking at everything as kam bratabi, kam fulus, how much money, what's this, what's that. Sheikh, is this what you chose to do? Do you have something else to do? You have your mother and your father, your younger brothers. This is the typical demographic of my guys. My guys, their ages are between the ages of 18 and 24. And a lot of them are the oldest of the boys, you know. Now in America, so what? في السعودية, that's everything. أنت مسؤول يعني بعد الوالد. You're responsible after the father. Everybody's looking at you. So you have to do what you're going to do, Sheikh, and stick with it. Let it work for a little while, see what happens, and then, yani, tawakkal ala Allah, do what you could do. You know, people are looking for something like TED Talk type of advice. Bro, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Wallah, it's not that deep. You have something in front of you. It has to be done. You have options, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You do what you have to do. You choose your best.
So first, discipline.
No, not, well, generally speaking, discipline, but thabat, yani, just do it. Don't be kidder. Make your decision and go for, Sheikh, make your decision. Khudha bidurusik. I tell them this. Make your decision and go straight ahead. Along the way, you might find, okay, it's not looking that good, but you have to see it through the end. When you get to the end, you try it. You know, our guys, mashallah, tabarakallah, they have عندهم يعني العقد الوظيفة. They have employment while they're in the mahad. The mahad is 2 years, okay, 4 semesters. Before they graduate, they already have a job. They know they have a job. They're going to have a job, inshallah, in the first couple of semesters, inshallah. So you basically sitting there waiting to go to your job that's waiting for you. The job is waiting for you. You're not going there to study and look for a job. The job comes to us. They come to the mahad. They do muqabalat. They do interviews upstairs. You already know you got a job. How many people in the jamia, in the college here in Riyadh, they don't know that? Inshallah, they will get a job. But our guys, they know they have a job. They know the company. They know how much money they're going to make.
Thank you for your time. My last question is, in your opinion, what is the secret you believe that is the secret of having the dream job or being good at the job?
After relying and depending 100% on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important. And I know that I'm talking to some people who are not even Muslims. Okay, God, depending on God, a higher power, knowing that there's things that are not in your control, no matter what you do. Now you're smiling at me, Ahmed, because that's not the TED Talk answer. Okay, I'm gonna give you the TED Talk answer too, but that comes before that. Tawakkal ala Allah, a tawakkal. I'm not a sheikh. I'm just telling you. I knew this, bro, before I even became Muslim. I knew that there was a God, there was a higher power that controls everything. After understanding that, completely understanding that, you have to be willing to do what other people won't do. If something has to be done by a certain time, if it needs to be done by next week, you do it by tomorrow. If people tell you it can't be done, you be the only one that can do it. If you fail, okay, you fail. But you put your mindset that I'm going to be the one to do it. Everybody wants to be a Cristiano, but they don't want to do what Cristiano does to be that type of football player. Everybody wants to be a Messi. Okay, be Messi. But from what I heard, Messi is the first person in the milab and the last person in the milab for practice. That's what I heard. I heard Cristiano is there layl wa nahar playing and practicing. Cristiano. So whatever your profession is, Sheikh, you need to be the person that doesn't make excuses, tries to be on point. And again, this is where God comes in, bro, because we get sick, things happen, you know. But you can't wake up with that mentality. You wake up, if Allah lets you wake up, that you're going to go out here and do something that nobody else is going to do. You know, my guys, they respect, of course, لاعبين كرة القدم. They respect athletes and stuff like that. I say, Sheikh, you are so mutahammis, you're so intense about a football player. And you give no respect or credit to your father who gets up every day and works hard for you to sit in that chair right now. Even if he's retired, متقاعد. Do you know the sacrifices that were made for you to be here? Cristiano had nothing to do with that. Maybe if you sat down and asked your father or you paid attention and saw what he did. Because I think also, Ahmed, there's a difference in the generation. This generation is getting it too easy, bro. It's not like when your grandfather had to do what he had to do, or even your father had to do what he had to do. It's a little bit too easy for some of you guys, bro.
Shortcut.
Not so much shortcuts, bro, because, okay, well, if somebody gives you a shortcut. Okay, you gave me a shortcut. You gave me, this word we say, wasta. Okay, fine. But now it's on me to run with it. It's on me to show you that I deserve it. Okay. We all get help, brother. You know, even in America, people get help all the time. That's not the problem, that somebody helped you to get where you are. But once you get there, now you have to help yourself. Okay, how you got there, bro, it's neither here nor there. I just explained to you that how I got here was bumping into a man's son in the masjid. So what? The point is, after I got here, what did I need to do to stay here? That's the question. The journey, you asked me about how did I become Muslim. The journey is not as important as the fact that I'm still here and what I'm doing.
Thank you for your time. Can we end the episode by another poem?
Another poem? Okay, I knew you were going to do that. This guy didn't even tell me the cameras was rolling. Boy, look here. This guy. I'm gonna let that go, Chef. It's the first time we meet, and I'm gonna let you have that though. This poem is called Colossus. It's about a gigantic killer octopus. And it's a poem that I wrote in response to my father's poem called Leviathan. Leviathan is about a ancient prehistoric killer whale. My father wrote this poem years ago, and for some time it was the largest printed poem in human history. It was the largest printed poem in human history. And my father's name is James E. Tokley. Last name is spelled Tokley, Leviathan. You could Google that. You could AI that. Okay. So out of love and respect to my father, because he's my favorite poet, of course. You know, forget about Shakespeare and whoever. So I call myself trying to answer his poem. So he has a killer whale, a big whale. I have a big octopus. Okay, Colossus. Allah knows best how I came to be. When God created the sea, I was placed therein. Before he forbade that heavenly tree, I lived amongst the jinn. All who dwell below have fear of me, including Leviathan, that so-called king. It is I who am the ruler of the sea, for whom all the mermaids sing. I am Goliath of the deepest abyss, a griot imbued with songs of praise. 'Twas the Titanic which got sunken from my kiss, much to the captain's amaze. But still within my soul exists the pain of lonely years gone by. None but space and time persists to hear my lonesome cry. I am Colossus, one of many hues, from brown to gray, whichever I choose. Norsemen called me Kraken the Great. Many a Viking I sealed his fate. Many Phoenicians sought out Baal after seeing my eyes. Many Roman fleets met a watery demise. Many Muslim sailors made dua that I wouldn't arrive. Many enslaved Africans jumped overboard and I helped them survive, using my tentacles to pull them ashore, something no man has seen before. I am the one who bore the monster of Loch Ness. In a lake unfit to be my abode, yet millions of Scotmen profess that I am the terror of old. and flying fish that would sail into space on the wings of angels taking flight, aghast from looking upon my face, indeed such a horrible sight. For I am a motherless child who makes mothers lament over the death of their young, feared and often reviled. My greatest song has yet to be sung. I am Colossus.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Sheikh.